Alright, welcome to the Halo 5 Legendary speedrun. Legendary is the hardest difficulty of the game. There's easy, there's normal, there's heroic, and there's legendary. And the time is going to start as soon as I skip this cutscene. So now, there's a script animation at the beginning of the run that you see right now. You see this sword getting stuck in elite, and the game puts it behind you for some reason, and it depletes it. For some reason you can pick this sword up even though it's depleted. Normally you can't do that with any other weapon in the game. And the reason why we pick up the sword in the speedrun is because it gives you faster movement speed, which allows you to run past enemies much easier and just to generally go fast, which is obviously something you desire in a speedrun. You will see me run past a bunch of enemies, hopefully not taking too much damage. Then you see the first smallest trick, which will make me get launched tiny bits. Which you saw there, a soldier pushed me. And there's a skip coming right up, but I will have to wait for a checkpoint first. There we go. This skip is very finicky, so I'm likely to fail it a few times. I have a checkpoint right before, so it's not really that bad if I fail it. Actually got a first try. This allows us to go out of bounds to this structure. And to continue this level, we hit the button from out of bounds right here. Now we have to wait for our teammates to teleport to the other side there. And then we have to quickly get to the next section before the area loads in. If you're too slow or too fast, you can soft lock. Now we have a second launch coming up, and this one is harder than the first one in my opinion. But let's see how it goes. Hopefully I will get the checkpoint here. I did not. That's okay. That's a really bad checkpoint, unfortunately. Let's try it again. Hey, distro, right? Kronos. Hey, distro. Dude, I'm so rusty at this game. How are you doing, Kronos?
Our destination is on the other side of this battlefield.
Alright, let's hope that I get a checkpoint this time.
Watch out for the Kraken. The Covenant are trying to use it to break the Promethean line.
There we go. Now we got the checkpoint. Alright, we ground pound into the structure. Or onto the structure, and then we go inbounds. Ooh. I can already see the run is very flashy. There are a lot of skips in Halo 5.
Pick up this weapon. Nice.
Quite a lot of launches.
Concentrate fire on the broken armor.
But also other types of tricks, so stay tuned for that. So I reply to the chat from time to time in case anyone's watching this on YouTube and is confused who I'm talking to. Just busy. Sorry to hear that, Kronos. But yeah, this is being live streamed for those who have no context of what is happening. You see those knights? They have those yellow cores to their side, yellow orangish, and when you shoot them down, when they're ideally facing you, hold on. I need this guy to turn around. Turn. Alright, when you shoot the core, they're going through raging animation, which exposes their face. And once you shoot the face, they die instantly. That is one way to quick kill them. You can skip some of the cutscenes in this game. When you finish a level, just hold A and Y and it will skip the cutscene. Others are not that easily skippable. You have to wait several seconds, like this one. And this is Blue Team, where you play as the Master Chief, and Master Chief has a bit of a different gameplay feeling. He's way clunkier, I would say, compared to Spot and Lock. And we start this level right away by going for an out of bounds trick. You slide past these windows like this. Then there's an invisible pillar we jump around. Let's see. Got it. So now we out of bounds again. As you can see, that's a recurring theme in the speedrun. Yeah, this allows us to skip a bunch of enemies and an elevator ride. We have to hit the load trigger in mid-air here. You see the game freeze up. That means I hit it. And then we grump to where we need to go. And we skipped this whole elevator ride, saving quite a bit of time. I wait for a checkpoint here because the next room can be tricky. Okay, there we go. Well, here we just run past a bunch of enemies by staying on the right side of the room. There are a lot of enemies in this room in the middle and to the left. And we got out of bounds again by just jumping through the wall here. And yes, that's a thing. Don't ask me why. I don't know why that's a thing. And we instantly got out of inbounds again, sorry. And sometimes when you do this trick, you don't get the enemies to spawn in, but I was a bit higher than usual, so I spawned them in anyway. Which is not a big deal, but I have to be careful with the jackals because they can instantly kill me if they get a clear shot on me. I'll be fine. There we go. Now, normally go through the bridge and then Hunter knocks you out, knocks you off the bridge and you fall into this cutscene. It turns out you can just jump to the cutscene right away without any issues.
That's not possible.
You said she was gone.
I watched her die. We have a mission to focus on. We can talk about this later. Lights on.
Right over here, there are a bunch of grunts which you take out. Then we pick up the plasma pistol. And then there are 2 elites and 3 grunts scripted to come in here. And I check out their behavior, which is very random. And then I stun the second one with the plasma pistol overcharge. And then just run past all the enemies. So, what you just saw there is some type of power slide. Some kind of muscle jump. It only works on the unpatched version of the game, which is the one I'm playing right now. They are patched out in the updated version. And the main reason why we do unpatched as the legendary runners is because the enemies, namely the grunts, are way stronger on the patch version of the game. The plasma pistol that they use does a lot of damage on you. Other levels are actually easier on the patch version of the game, but overall I would say that unpatched is the better version to run for legendary.
Covenant ships exiting slip space.
We're outnumbered here, Chief. A few thousand to 1.
Surrendering Argent Moon is not an option.
Now we have to wait until we can activate the button. So we just stock up on ammo. There's a hidden room here. I already have 2 plasma grenades.
Ship's reactor core is near here.
Same plan as the perpetual devotion.
We overload the reactor at evac. Ship explodes, destroying any ships nearby.
Alright, so coming up is a really difficult trick. This was not in the previous AGDQ run that I did.
There's chatter about Jewel M. Dahmer on Covenant comms. The new arrival.
Let's see if I can get it.
Somebody cut the head off the Covenant. Bravo.
Hunters.
There we go. This is really difficult. Normally it takes a few attempts, but there's a checkpoint right before, so it's fine.
Weapons free.
Hey, Bubble Flop. That's just for an AGDQ submission.
Reactor room is just ahead.
I'm still a bit rusty.
Like this fuse and bolt.
I mean, that's actually my first run in the ages. By the time of the event, I will be playing much better. That's a promise.
Controls are on the far side of the room.
If it gets accepted, that is.
Get to those
But yeah, there are some differences between the last AGDQ run in 2018 that I did. There are some new strats, and as I said, this is one of the new ones. And this skips a bunch of runes. The one with the 2 hunters Then the reactor room, which is just a massive fight, and then the room that you see below me there. And I believe in the speedrun this says around 3 minutes on Legendary, maybe even more. Not sure. But it's a pretty substantial skip. It also looks really cool. And we drop back inbounds. Right over here. Now in this room, we have to kill pretty much every enemy. I start with these elites. Well, these I tried. You can get revived in this game, by the way, when you get knocked out like that.
Marking the power's control panel.
Yeah, there's a bunch of storm rifle jackals here, which are really difficult to fight, in my opinion. Or rather, they're very dangerous on the unpatched version of the game, because the storm rifle at the clear range, shooting range is very lethal. They can instantly melt you. In the patch version of the game, they were nerfed down quite a bit. There's also a bunch of fear rod guns, which is the alien bazooka you see there. They can instantly kill you, and you cannot even be revived or anything. It's just a really strong weapon. Yeah, I'm just being careful here with who I'm fighting. I prioritize the fear rod guns so that they don't take me out later by surprise. Alright, now that enough grunts are dead, I will push this button, which will spawn in a bunch of enemies with semi-random spawns. It's always the same amount of enemies, but the spawns are a bit different sometimes. Some of them always spawn in the same place, like the 4 jackets that they just shot. But others just have random spawns across the room. Now that enough enemies are dead, there are 2 hunters that are spawning in. And there is one way to quickly kill them on unpatched, which is to stun them by swording them and then hitting the back a few times. In the patch version, they don't flinch like that, so they will instantly just hit you back and you will die most likely. So this trick doesn't work on the patch version of the game, which is also one of the big reasons why we do unpatched. Now that enough enemies are dead.
Blue team, on my target.
Ooh, that hunter is on the box. I've never seen that before. Yeah, there are some elites scripted to spawn in here. I have to be careful. These are some really atrocious spawns I have to improvise. Especially the hunter, the second one, is in a really bad spot. Where is he? I'm out of ammo. That's some interesting backup strats right there. Let's get some other gun here. You have to be careful. Okay, I got the checkpoint, that's good. Sometimes when you kill a hunter, his friend goes berserk. You see him like having the sparks, etc. When they do that, you can't do the sword trick, and they are much stronger and way more aggressive. So we'll just try to get the rocket here and then get rid of him, hopefully. Come on. There we go. I have to improvise here for a bit, but I have to also say I'm a bit rusty still. By the time of the event, if the run gets accepted,
Now, blue team.
the gameplay will probably be much better.
Clear.
I tried to warn you this.
So this is 1 minute elevator ride. This is a good time for donations. If one gets accepted, then donations should be read out here, just over a minute.
Chipping away the glass, making her livable.
Why are we taking
I can talk about some of the changes between AGDQ 2018 and this run. I mean now, as I mentioned before, there are some new skips.
Tend to see it as an act of aggression.
The blue team one that you just saw is one of the bigger ones. And then there is a big one on this level, which is also very interesting in my opinion. It's a very unique skip in my opinion. And then we have some towards the end game. There are some actually big changes in the last few levels. Bubblefluff, thank you very much for gifting this sub.
Governor didn't seem to want our help.
Much appreciated. So as soon as this door opens, I'm going to throw a grenade to get rid of this marine. There is a good reason why I do that. It actually skips dialogue in here, which makes this gate open earlier. Also, I have to position myself in the back here to skip even more dialogue. So instead of getting extra line, I just get the Damikal, do it much faster, and then the gate opens. Now here, there's a bunch of enemies. We just run past them.
Lockdown. No way out.
There must be a way to shut down the security system.
Yeah, eliminate the threat, then
The command is Damikal, by the way. Good time for donations. Thanks, Bubblefluff. So over here, we go kinda out of bounds-ish
Elevator control. Get those automated turrets online.
by thrusting into the invisible wall here, and it launches upwards like this. And then we have to hit the trigger in mid-air, which we do here. You saw the freeze, that means I hit the trigger. Very good. And we jump on the lamp, and we are going out of bounds again. It's a bit weird. And now we can drop back inbounds by ground pounding to the Warthog, which we're gonna take. And things get very interesting now. First of all, I park the Warthog slightly diagonally aligned with the gate here.
Sure they don't get through to town.
Whenever I have a slight angle like that, I can just jump and thrust like this, and it launches me up in the air. And this allows me to skip
No way.
the fight. Oh, actually I missed the grenade.
Secure that bridge.
So I shoot the grenade to get this hawk closer to me. Because if I go fast enough in this section, you just see me hit the loading done there. But if I'm fast enough, I will get something called the goo deload. You will see the background there deload. It's all gooey.
Spartans. My people in the service garage.
The radio is actually not loaded. This is what we want for a trick coming up, which is a really difficult one, by the way. Also one of the new ones that were not in the last GDQ. If you remember the last GDQ, we took the tank here and then went through a massive fight.
Meridian station now.
We kind of skipped that now.
Clear out the land between where you are and town.
We got out of bounds up here.
Wow. Pretty quick.
And then we hit some enemy low triggers.
Can you hail?
There's one in mid-air here. This is a very tricky jump. I have to pay attention. Then we ground pop back inbounds. This is very precise, and I got it. So you can see this whole area is unloaded, but I started the ending fight with the trigger that I hit. Now there's literally just enemies spawning into the void and dying. This is why this is called the void fight. It's a great skip that we found. It's one of the more recently found ones. But now we have 2 minutes because there's a bunch of enemies spawning in right now. They just spawn in and die because they fall into the void. And we have 2 minutes to waste now before we continue. And I just take the tank here to clean up a bit because I have nothing else to do anyway.
Corporate security. Private security for a frontier colony isn't unusual. Trying to see something this heavy though.
Predator taking fire.
That knight's got a scatter shot. Watch the spread on that.
Alright. I believe I killed enough enemies. We take the Warthog. And I'm looking at the timer, which you cannot see on screen by the way, but I have one running. After 2 minutes are up, after I hit the trigger, roughly, I will continue on and all enemies should be dead. Maybe there's going to be 1 or 2 spawns left alive, but probably not.
Take that ward off. Ward off, now!
I have to wait 20 more seconds.
We lost Buck. Fall back!
This is one of the more interesting skips in my opinion.
Regroup.
So yeah, activate the enemy low trigger, they fall into the void, they all die. You just wait, instead of doing the whole clear yourself with the tank. And then we drive to the end. I believe everything should be dead now. Maybe something survived, we'll see. Because the spawns are inconsistent, they're really random. Like the time they take to spawn in. Oh. There's actually more that survived than I thought.
Propaganda about Spartans doesn't lie. Listen, across the bridge, closer to town.
There are 2 knights that survived. Be careful here.
We can do that, sir.
Oh.
Osiris,
There we
clear
go,
the
now
area so
everything
they
is
can open
dead.
the gates.
Yeah, normally there are way more waves that you have to fight here.
Looks like you've done it. Never thought I'd thank the UNSC for a damn thing, but I do thank you, Spartans. Come on inside.
Okay. So now over here,
Governor Sloan, I was hoping
we have Meridian Station, which is a level where you just have to listen to dialogue and talk to people. So nothing too interesting.
Tanaka, what kind of
Hey, Super Bad Bug. Thanks for good luck.
Frontier colony like this? Not much. Best suggestion is to keep weapons down and hands off.
You just have to listen to dialogue, but can just
Is that Governor Sloan?
have some fun around here. For instance, you can break this marine. But just standing behind him like that. There we go. You can also get launched very high up in the air, which I will probably do during the marathon to show it off. But I'm not doing it now because it can potentially kill me by hitting the death ceiling. You can go really high.
He's an AI.
Actually, I'm going for it anyway. Let's do it.
What's wrong with him? He looks broken. Rampancy onset.
So there's an invisible wall here, and this marine is a cycle. When he goes away, the invisible wall goes away. When he comes back, the invisible wall forms again, and the pressure launches you like this. And if you go too high, you will hit the death ceiling and actually die. So that's why I don't usually do that in runs.
Spartan fire team.
But this is just a good showcase of how broken the physics are in this game.
I'm unaware of other UNSC agents in our
Just a fun thing you can do. So you might have noticed that there's no fall damage or like no fall timer in this game.
So where do we start looking?
You don't die
Best
from falling from very high
intelligence
up.
like this comes from the people. Keep your ears
Now
open.
we have to talk to 2 people. Start with this guy. Alright. I have to wait again, and to waste some time, we can hit this machine's button 11 times.
Sounds like it was a UNSC ship.
9, 10, 11. Which spawns in a soccer ball, or football if you're not from the USA.
Don't think you vultures can pick the bone so fast. Wait, what do you say?
So you can play around with that.
I think that's our location.
So Apogee came under attack, and then a UNSC ship was seen heading that way.
Find a network terminal. I want to know more about Apogee Station.
Artemis ought to be able to track down a suitable network terminal. Ping it.
Alright. There are 3 levels like this one. This is by far the longest one. Meridian Station is honestly quite long. It's 3 minutes. Hey Lolly, thanks for good luck. And we just go to the Pelican here. And the mission is over. Well, soon at least. Now this is unconfirmed. Which is very movement heavy at the beginning in my opinion. You have to go fast, and that's to do a certain trick.
You got an escort.
Be surprised if there weren't. Sloan can't be happy about UNSC marching
And it's one of my
around out here.
favorite ones, and I think it's because it just looks cool, and you will see it in around 20 seconds from now. They have to go fast here, I can't waste any time.
No offense taken, Governor. We'll find our targets and be out of your
And when I get quickly up here, can line myself up to jump on this pelican. And use it as a bridge to go to the next section. Oh, actually got hit by an invisible barrier there. It happens sometimes.
Be surprised
I'm a
if
little bit out of practice. Normally that doesn't happen. Let's try it again. It's fine.
Lady is correct. My team's there to keep an eye on things while you look around.
Yeah, there's an invisible barrier there that can kill you.
No offense taken, Governor. We'll find our targets and be out of your way.
But it's okay because the trick is cool. We can do it again. There we go. Use it as a bridge to go to up here without triggering the enemies,
I want to look at that prowess.
which allows us to pick up the rocket launcher for some spawn killing. It's very convenient, honestly.
Move up. You're the boss. Move.
Responding the
Don't
enemies
stop.
by going on the staircase and then just spawn kill right away.
Knight spawned a watcher.
When this knight goes down to spawn the watcher, his face explodes and I can shoot and instantly kill him. It's a very difficult shot, by the way, so I'm glad I got that. And then after a while there's these soldiers spawning, which I will also instantly kill.
Look sharp. Push up. Target the soldier.
And then there's a soldier commander spawning here, which I will backsmack, which instantly kills him. Then pick up his suppressor and then shoot the watchers. Watchers are very annoying. They can replenish the shields of the enemies, like recover their armor pretty much. So basically heal them. So they are priority target. You can also shield your enemies, which is even more annoying.
Blue team just left their prowler parked in the middle of
Now we have to
everything.
wait for dialogue before we can activate this button.
Ship's log might tell us something.
Let's run a scan.
And we have to listen to dialogue again. So this is, I would say, time for like 2 to 3 donations in an actual marathon setting.
Looks like a map of Apogee Station.
I've taken the pistol here, even though I don't really need it. Actually, I want this gun. There we go. No, not this one. Scattershot. This one. There we go.
Governor Sloan,
Spartan lock.
we're looking for access to the mine near our position.
I'm looking for splinter grenades. I got one. I would have preferred 2. It's not a big deal.
I'm asking
Just a
politely
backup
for
strat thing.
access to your facility, Governor.
Opening the door for you now.
So, coming up is another new trick that was not in the last GDQ run that I did, I think. I could be wrong about that, but I don't think it was there yet.
Stand back, snipers perched ahead.
But you have to be really fast here because there's a bunch of battering rifle soldiers who can instantly snipe you if you don't have perfect movement pretty much. Then we thrust into this barrier there, or like this rock, and this launches upwards. Allows us to go out of bounds here, and we skip the whole fight. It's not a really cool trick in my opinion. And I don't think it was in the last GDQ. I could be wrong about that, but I'm like 70% sure it wasn't in there. This is a really cool slide here you can do. The pipe slide, one of my favorites. And in this room we just run past all the
More
enemies.
Prometheans inbound.
By just running away before they can shoot me, kill me, or like spawn right in front of me or anything.
You know, we've seen Promethean attacks since Requiem, but no record of any this intense.
Another really cool slide. And this is the world's most obvious skip. There's an elevator right here, but we don't have to take it. It's going down anyway, and we go down with the ground pound. It's much faster. It actually works. We don't have to take the elevator.
Record everything. We can get a good look at it later.
Now coming up is the One Eternal, which is some kind of a boss fight pretty much. He spawns in some crawlers here, which we just nade spam so they die.
Who's this guy?
And then we pick up some splinter grenades
Something new. Defend yourself.
as a backup if things go wrong. And we shoot him right as it solidifies into his weak point, which is this black core in his back, or bluish core. That's his weak spot. We just shotgun it into oblivion and he's dead. So in the casual playthrough, this warden is pretty strong, but if you do it like this, it's actually very easy.
Cortana.
There's also yeah, I remember now. In the last GDQ, I didn't do this strat because I couldn't do the auto bounce escape. I remember.
Should get moving.
There's also difference. In the last GDQ, I did the binary rifle strat.
We called it the Guardian.
So yeah, that's the proof that
And that makes it the master.
the skip that I just did is a new one since the last run.
Find him. Let's go.
I'm like 100% sure now. So over here, we finished level unconfirmed, and there's a skippable cutscene. Or rather, you can skip it only after like 4.5 minutes. So we just leave the game and load up the next level. That technically makes the game New Game Plus, but since cutscene times don't include the official timing and we don't want to wait 5 minutes every time after unconfirmed, we just allow it to just load up the next level. But this is evacuation. We start right away by sprint jump and thrusting, which skips the load. And we know we got it because there is no Guardian in the background. What this does is that we can drive through the whole next section without having to fight any of the enemies. And I did some AI manipulation by pointing at the gun goose behind me, or mongoose rather, I think. And then 2 eyes to the hawk, which gets Hanako to the right and Buck to the back of the hawk. We want Hanako on the right because she has the long-range precision weapon, and that's by far the best weapon in the shotgun seat among your teammates. And it doesn't matter who is in the back. Could be Vale or Buck, doesn't really make a difference. Yeah, normally there would be a bunch of enemies here, but since I sprint jump and thrusted, as mentioned before, I skipped the load and there's nothing here. There's also time for like 2 donations, I would say, in the marathon setting.
With or without you.
Governor Sloan, Shuttle Bravo 3 prep for takeoff.
But yeah, so that skip is very convenient for Legendary, I would say. No enemies here. Now we get to one of the trickiest sections of the whole run, in my opinion. It's a big clear. I have to kill every enemy. And I will take the hog into the fight, which is not intended, but we're doing it anyway because, you know, speedrunners. Let's see if I can get it.
Governor Sloan, we need access to the space.
Alright, that didn't work. Try again. Alright, there we go.
Governor Sloan,
And it's very good to take the hog into the fight because the Gauss cannon just instantly kills all the soldiers when your team is actually hit stuff.
understood, Governor. Osiris, clear the area so they
Why
can
did Hanaka
open
go
the
out? That's weird.
Take that soldier down. Take this weapon.
To be careful.
Take that soldier down. Solid copy.
By going for the middle here, I spawn in these 2 binary rifle soldiers who are priority targets. I get out to instantly headshot them.
Target the soldier. Go to the bottom.
That was a nice double kill right there. Oh, my team is actually hitting stuff. It's very nice.
Let's go.
There's an enemy behind me.
Take that soldier down.
Be careful. So on the radar on the bottom left, by the way, you can see when there's enemies around you. This is a bit tricky. He's in a very bad spot. Have to pay attention. Okay. One of my teammates got the soldier. Alright, by going forward here, there's a bunch of crawler scripters to come towards me, so I will just nade spam them. Taking out as many as I can.
I got shotgun.
Let's go.
I have no idea if this bug's space-worthy. She's not gonna fly. We need another way to get these people.
Alright.
Target the soldier. Right away.
Good. So there's some Hydra rifle soldiers, Hydra launcher, sorry, which is a very strong weapon. So I'm glad they died.
Elevator doors open.
Now I trigger this dialogue, and now I have a short window of time where I can quickly try to pick up some weapons, because I will get teleported back inside. They use this time to pick up this hydro launcher and then this ghost turret.
I was allowed
And when the door closes, they get teleported back inside. There we go.
a change is gonna come.
Now we get into the elevator part of this run.
Created alike.
There are a ton of enemies I have to clear out and then push the button. I just try to take out some with the ghost turret. I would say if necessary there could be donations read out here. It's just me doing a clear. Just try to get the watchers because they can, as I said, shield enemies or like regenerate their health. So it's nice to get rid of them early on.
Love to. Delicate work to do while getting shot at, though.
Let's clear the lady some workspace, shall we? Another one coming up.
So be careful here.
Take that soldier down. En route.
Alright, that's it, I believe. Maybe there's a crawler that ran away. Oh, right behind there. Okay, we're fine. So now that every enemy is dead, I can actually push the button. And I pick up the railgun here, which is a nice strong power weapon. But I juggle the hydro launchers. I can give it to one of my teammates.
Master Chief seemed to think so.
So if she's there, then where do they go?
We'll find out once we're
And I have to line up for a spawn.
I understand
I will
the
just
Master
nade
Chief
spam them
disobeying orders to find
and then
Cortana.
railgun them right away as they spawn.
They didn't know her.
The members of Blue Team grew up together in the Spartan.
This would also be time for like one donation, I would say.
More operations than any other fire team in the UNSC.
They're family.
Exactly.
Incoming Prometheans.
Come on. Alright, some quick kills in here.
Lockdown won't end until we clear the last of these.
Now I keep mailing to delay a checkpoint.
New Alexandria all over again. We claw our way out here, scratch a life out of the dirt for what? So we
While I
run? Leave it
set
all
up for the next clear.
There's a difference between
Hated it.
running and living to fight another day.
Tanaka's right. Humanity's at our best when we're making something out of nothing. We're tenacious. We'll rebuild as many times as we have to.
Once again, I will do some nade spam. Back smack this guy. And pick up the splinter turrets. Have to be careful here. I don't want to die. Here we go. Once again, I will line up for the next, or like gather ammo for the next clear. This is also time for donations, I would say.
Hello? Can anyone hear me? I'm at Meridian Station.
Let my
Everyone's
teammates
dead.
pick up the hydro launcher.
Sloan isn't here. Please. Is there anyone left here but me?
Alright, there's going to be one white knight spawning here and two randomly spawning black knights. They could spawn pretty much everywhere on the elevator.
Truth about what happened here.
Only the white one has a consistent spawn, and I just line up for a quick kill.
Watch out! More Prometheans.
The white knights are actually stronger than the black ones. It's the difference. They're also harder to kill because their face is smaller. Wait, where's the second one? There should be a second one.
Tanaka's out. Regroup.
Ah, there he is.
Target the knight.
That was a really difficult shot. I'm glad I got that. Alright, coming up is the jungle gym, as we call it,
Maybe a signal of some kind. Building up to
which
something.
highlights the movement mechanics in Halo 5 pretty well, in my opinion. We see a lot of clambering and boosting around and stuff like that.
I don't know what's going
There's the Guardian. Keep moving towards the Pelican.
Pelican's a few more super rungs up from here.
Just some tricky movement here. Focus.
Everyone all right?
We just track the fastest known routes here without having to engage with any enemies.
Do you figure the structure is still secure enough to run?
If it's gonna fall, won't be because Spartans are using it as a jungle gym. Think this thing might fall after all.
To hell with it. I'm calling in our Pelican now. We'll risk autopilot.
We can avoid getting knocked out by the waves by doing a time jump there, we just only do. Then we skip a cutscene and that was evacuation. I'm so sleepy. Go to sleep, Templar. So we're entering Reunion. I would say this is time for like one-shot donation.
More events following Meridian. It's 11.
I was already prompted a bit earlier actually in the marathon, but yeah. We start right away with the skip.
No comm traffic on
Instead of taking the elevator, we actually go out of bounds like this.
long way from nowhere then.
We're brought to this location for a reason. Search ahead.
And we walk on air. Look at that. Isn't that amazing? It's one of my favorite tricks because it's pretty cool to show off in my opinion. There's actually a ceiling that avoids you from going out of bounds, but ironically we go out of bounds so early that the developers were not expecting you to go out. So we use the ceiling as a floor now and we drop back inbounds. It saves quite a bit of time because we don't have to listen to dialogue and we don't have to go through the elevator ride. I believe it saves maybe 40 seconds.
Sounds like an elite. What the hell are the Covenant doing here?
Ready up.
We just run past the enemies that you saw there. We don't need to engage. Now we have a one-on-one fight against an MLG Sniper Jackal. Let's see how that goes. I guess we won the fight. It's very nice.
We should move. We aren't gonna find any answers standing here.
Alright. Threw the grenade to get the elite out of the turret. So I can just run past him. And we took out the Carbine Jackal.
Covenant seem to think it should belong to them.
And we quickly go up here to line up for another skip.
Confused. I don't think they've been here long.
There are a lot of skips in this game, I know. But they're pretty cool. In this one, you just jump on the Phantom and use that bridge to go to where you need to go later on. This skips a lot of fighting on Legendary. You would have to fight every enemy you saw in the previous section. Then take an elevator and you would come down here, and I believe this saves minutes on Legendary, really. But yeah, we went straight to where we need to go, and we have to wait a bit for this light bridge to activate.
Have the Covenant been coming through with them? Stands to reason. Any ships caught in the slip space bubble would be pulled through.
And we enter the mid-level cutscene.
We're
Here we go.
definitely being led somewhere.
There's actually one of the more interesting skips coming up now from the viewer perspective, at least. We're going to get into that in like half a minute. For now, we just parkour. We run past the enemies very quickly. And what's going to happen is we're entering another Warden fight, like the one on Unconfirmed that you saw before the, the boss fight thingy. But this one is a bit different in the speedrun. First we run past all the soldier turrets here. They can one hit kill me if they get a clear shot on me. I have to be careful. Whoa. Now wait for a checkpoint here. Because what we're going to do is we are going to have to get the Warden to cooperate with us. And we have to get lucky. We try to get his attention. And we need him to do a specific attack on us. And chase us down first. Hold on. That's the wrong attack. He has a launch attack that we want. It's random which one he does. That was not the one we wanted. There we go. That's the launch attack. So this is completely random whether you get this trick or not. But when you get it, it's so nice. You just get launched up in the air and you skip the whole fight. In the casual playthrough, you have to kill every enemy there. The Warden and all the knights and all the soldiers, and this saves minutes on Legendary easily. Just a massive skip. So even though you might need several attempts sometimes if you're really unlucky. It's still definitely faster than the casual way. And now this was the second try, which is really good. At least I think it was the second try. I don't remember actually. But yeah, this is time for donations again. There would be like 1 or 2 donations in this section, I think. Maybe 3 actually.
The cure for rampancy I found means AIs can be immortal. That kind of lifespan allows for long-term planning, just like the Forerunners were capable of. AIs can assume the Forerunners.
So there are 2 routes here. You either go on foot or take the Phaeton. The Phaeton is much safer and faster, so as a speedrunner, the choice is actually really easy. Even as a casual player, the Phaeton is just much better. Now we're doing a skip. We just fly through the wall here. Yep, that's a thing. We're out of bounds now. And then we hit the low trigger around the blue circle that you see here from out of bounds. And then just fly to the end of the level. And that was Reunion. So this is a lot of time for donations, I would say. This cutscene and then the whole beginning of the next level. I would say there's at least a minute worth of cutscenes, donations to be read out. Maybe a minute and a half. I just started a bunch of running and isn't really too interesting in terms of commentaries, so I would say donations would be really great here. How rusty are you? Yes. I'm very rusty. But if they accept the run, Raph, then I will practice a lot and my gameplay will be on point. Like, even though this run is actually quite decent, it's not terrible. So over here we just run past a bunch of enemies.
Spirit inbound. What's nice of him to send a welcome wagon?
Let the guns talk, Osiris.
And I have to be careful. Okay. Ah, it's a bit unfortunate.
Covenant forces ahead.
Got killed by the turrets. Let's try it again.
Spirit inbound. What's nice of him to send a welcome wagon?
Let the guns talk, Osiris.
Alright, there we go.
Swords of St. Helios. Covenant must have caught him by surprise.
Hey, X-Row. Over here we go pick up the sword, which because we can run faster, as I mentioned before. And we take out 2 sniper jackals here. And now we do a cool trick. There is a drop pod scripted to fall down. But we position ourselves under it, which is very precise, but hopefully I get it. Yep. Almost. Let's try that again. But yeah, if we're fast enough and position ourselves perfectly below the drop pod, if we launch us up to where we need to go, like this. And this skips a bunch of enemies, because the casual playthrough route is pretty terrible. Yeah, there would be enemies here, but we skipped all of them. And this area loads in, which is a side effect of the drop pod launch. Over here, we're entering a clear. The idea is simple. We just kill everything.
If they kill the Arbiter, they'll be well on their way.
That building's taking a beating. That's the Elder Council chamber. Marquis said the Arbiter was there.
Ah, there was a grenade.
If they kill the Arbiter, they'll be well on their way.
That building's taking a beating. That's the Elder Council chamber. Marquis said the Arbiter was there.
Spartans, I'm coming to you now.
Got it, Maki. Spartans, clear the shipmaster a landing zone. Move, double time.
So after enough enemies are dead, there's a spirit spawning here. which will drop off 2 hunters. Probably just to try to kick them as quickly as possible. Okay, good. Hey Kazukid, thanks for the good luck.
All clear.
Hey Abdul. Now this is also a new trick that we didn't do in the last AGDQ. We go out of bounds over here. Instead of taking the Mantis. We get into the next clear early before the enemies spawn. And we actually pick up the Sword Wraith.
Just be ready for extraction.
I shall await your signal.
Mount up, Osiris.
And we just spawn kill enemies as soon as they spawn. Okay. Splatter these guys. Yeah, this is a new strat compared to the old GDQ where I took the Mantis. I'm taking the Sword Wraith now. It's not faster, but it's more consistent. It's more fun in my opinion.
Any reason we're not using the mobile armored death dealing exoskeletons over there?
Spartan, the Elder Council chambers are on the far side of that courtyard.
And we take the Sword Wraith over here.
Contact with Arbiter's forces within.
Copy that.
And we make sure to not die here because this section is very tricky.
Spirits incoming, right side.
There's a Wraith here and then a Fear Rod elite. Now we have to kill enough jackals so that the door opens behind us. Be careful. It's kinda in the way. Yeah, I have to get out of here. My Wraith is very damaged. It blew up. Hey, once enough jackals are dead, this door will open. Come on. More jackals left, I assume. Yep. The door should open now. Yep, there we go. I'm waiting for a checkpoint here. Or rather for my shield to come back, I would say. There we go.
Stand by, Maki. We'll get to the Arbiter soon.
Standing by.
Alright, we just take the ghost here and then
Coming up on the council chamber.
we'll zoom past all the enemies.
Push through, Osiris. Maki, we've reached the council chamber.
Understood. On my way. Kaidon! Soru! Keisusa!
Swords of San Helios will be victorious.
And we enter the ending cutscene. So, this is
Guns down, Osiris.
Alliance.
We're guests here.
Log, I have a briefing prepared. Given Cortana's show of power.
This is one of those levels where you have to talk to people again. Once I hear briefing prepared, I know I'm ready to go. That saves a few seconds because otherwise Halsey will have extra dialogue for some reason. Now we just talk to her
Over here, Osiris.
and we good.
I have located
Now we have to wait until we can talk to the next person.
This is a constructor, a forerunner tool I can use to interface with the Guardian. Constructors were ubiquitous in Forerunner facilities. These hills are riddled with support stations for the Sanghelios Guardian. Palmer has the coordinates of one such station. Finding a constructor there should be simple.
Alright, now we go talk to her and then thrust backwards to skip some dialogue.
Ready when you are, Osiris. Okay, let's go.
Alright. Now we are entering enemy lines.
Osiris.
Enemy lines has
Facility north of here.
just some fun movement at the start and then a lot of vehicle sections later on.
Arbiter's people are set to hit the Kraken from the air.
It has a lot of variety.
Once you've reached the rally point, Arbiter will give the green light.
Understood, Commander.
Patching you into Arbiter's battle net now. Good luck
For
out
now
there,
we just
Spartans.
jump past the enemies.
Commander Palmer, we're in position.
Copy that. Arbiter, you're up.
Normally you would take the other path and you go through an animation where you start shaking and then get, I think, knocked off or something.
Covenant are bringing in
And during that you're invincible. But for some reason when you go to the left there, you don't get the animation, but you keep the invincibility for a few seconds. I can die again, but there was a short period of time where I couldn't die. Oh yeah, also we skipped that shield thingy by just clambering on top of it, which is a nice oversight from developers.
Keep your distance. Get to the temple ground.
We are not supposed to take... I'm going to revert you because I took too much damage. We are not supposed to take the ghost to the next section coming up, but we're doing it anyway.
Get to the temple ground.
Because once again, speedrunners. By holding right bumper,
Hurry up, we just lost Bale.
you can actually fly a bit farther. But yeah, I'm not supposed to take the ghost here at all. But yeah, just speedrun tricks. Here we go.
There's another shield in the way.
Let's find a way past.
Okay, over here, I tried to get the Wraith's attention so it shoots the barrier.
He's getting their asses kicked and decided to get some too.
Sometimes it takes a long time. There we go.
Nice work,
Shot the
Osiris.
barrier for me, saving a bit of time.
I'm heading into the temple. Regroup inside Osiris. This has
Now we
be
have to
it.
activate
Something's happening.
this statue thingy. I don't even know what it does or it is, but it opens this gate.
Are just through that door.
Move, Osiris.
Soldiers,
Here we go.
Clock, heads up. The Kraken's still in play.
I see it, Commander.
Arbiter to all wings. The Kraken retreats. Press your attack.
That doesn't look like a retreat.
Let's help Arbiter finish this.
Just picked up some ammo.
Double time.
en route. Go to the
Arbiter, we are airborne and Forerunner face-off.
So this is the Kraken. We're going to board it and destroy it.
Spartans, I appreciate the bravery, but what's the plan?
I'm on board the Kraken.
Generator will be in the bottom. Find a path, follow it down.
And we destroy it by throwing a plasma grenade on the core. There we go.
Generator offline.
Get the hell out
Oh.
of there. Kraken's going down.
My Phaeton disappeared. It's unfortunate. So, whenever there's teammates on the Kraken, the animation gets delayed, so I'm losing a lot of time here. My goal was to have them outside. There we go, they just got teleported. And as soon as no one is on the Kraken, the core is destroyed, it starts the destruction sequence. So you can see it's going down right now. We're setting up for a trick here. By parking the Phaeton at the very edge,
Damn, Osiris, that is beautiful work. Kraken's down.
we can keep the Phaeton. When we see the mission objective, we can take it again and then go to the next room. Normally, when you park it anywhere else, it solidifies and you can't take it anymore. But yeah, by just parking it right there and then waiting for the objective, we can take the Phaeton to this fight, which is not intentional by the developers.
Search the area. Something woke up. It's a map of...
Now we go
There it is.
to pick up
Follow us.
an incineration cannon. Which allows us to spawn kill some of the soldiers. There's a bunch of enemies here. And we will kill them with the Phaeton.
Clear the area.
Okay. Okay. There's still a watcher left. My teammate just got him.
All clear.
Commander Palmer, we have the constructor. Ready for extraction.
Nice work, Spartan. Arbiter, ready for pickup.
I am sending a ship your way, Spartan.
Okay, so coming up is the last level where you have to talk to people. This is the third one. This one also takes 1 minute.
There goes the constructor.
When it activates the Guardian, we hit tonight.
Everything is
Let's
prepared.
report into Palmer.
We will begin with...
Guns. Just make sure you come through with that air support.
I understand.
Oh yeah, this is time for donations, by the way. Just pointing it out.
Mission
Same for the
complete.
previous level where you had to talk to
Halsey has the
people.
constructor.
Good work,
Just
Osiris.
donation time.
Once Halsey has the constructor sorted, Arbiter's people can move on.
There's actually a lot of time for donations here because there's another cutscene coming up. And yeah, there's really not much to explain during those, so
Osiris, come
minutes for donations. Now we just have to wait for the mission to finish.
Bye.
Get comfortable. It could be hours. I take it back. It's headed for Sunaya. It's moving towards the Guardian.
Arbiter, it's time.
So, coming up is the level Battle of Sunayon, which is one of the most intense ones, I would say. I will not get the checkpoint most likely for the first few minutes or so.
Form up.
So, the goal is not to die at the beginning because it could be a huge revert.
Actually,
But in the marathon estimate, that scenario is counted in, so nothing too big to worry about. We should be fine.
Come a long way together.
Yeah, normally there would still be donations here and it would be finished right about now, I guess.
Good jump, like we mean.
Here they come.
And we start this level right away by skipping the first fight. By going up here and then going out of bounds, like this. We have to backtrack to the door to hit the low trigger, which is required to continue. Here we go.
All clear.
Eyes on anti-air.
Now we just run past all these
Shut it down. Give the
enemies.
swords of St. Elio some airspace.
Oh, I have to hide here. I got a bit unlucky. Improvising. There we go. Now we pick up the Fear Rod Cannon here, which is going to prove useful very soon. We just run past all the enemies here, hopefully not dying.
Covenant insertion pod.
Now there's an AA gun here, and we shoot this battery to destroy it,
Spartan locked the
which is
swords of
the
St. Elio's. Air
blue
defense
thingy there
down.
that I just shot. And now we have to wait until the next door opens, and we just retreat here so the enemies don't kill us.
Cannon destroyed. Swords of St. Elio.
And hopefully all our teammates are still alive, which they are. Actually, Buck just got knocked out, but the teammates might be able to revive him in time. Now we're here, there's a Fear Rod grunt, no, Fear Rod Elite running out. But I take a path in which he doesn't shoot me, ideally.
3 cannons here. Take them down quick.
Now we're
Five
here,
forces without us.
have to kill most of the enemies. And this section is actually very difficult, so I have to focus.
One cannon down. 2 more to go.
Should be one more grunt around here, I believe. Ah, there he is. Okay.
Take that elite out.
Come on, I want to get the delete. That's not good. We have to take
Second cannon down.
out
Only
some
one
cannons
left.
here. If enough enemies are dead and the cannons are taken out, it's going to be some phantom spawn in the background, which you just saw there.
My troops will arrive in
That means I got it.
Move on towards the Guardian.
The delete is very scary.
Master Chief
I don't like his spawn.
Copy that,
So let's
Arbiter.
take care of him.
Friendly phantoms approaching. Spartan lock. Come in.
Marquis. Hello again.
We're going up here to pick up some swords. There's some elite spawning here.
Too many for me to ferry you
If you remember, sword gives you faster movement speed.
another path.
So we're doing a skip here, which is tricky, so I'm going to wait for a checkpoint.
Will allow direct
Just for marathon safety.
Thank you, Marquis. Osiris, Marquis said there's a way down. Find it.
Come on, give me a checkpoint.
Plasma battery.
So instead of taking the elevator, we can just try to do this. The timing for this trick is very precise. Because there's a death barrier I just went around, which is not really visible. And I can hit this low trigger and we can continue. And we just skip the whole elevator ride. This is also one of my favorite parts of the speedrun because I really enjoy the movement here.
But remember, we don't have the swords of St. Helios.
It's pretty fun.
These troops.
Whatever gets us to the Guardian quickest.
There are a bunch of enemies, we just try to run past them. Like this.
To knock us out. Guardian's still too far. Hurry.
Jump across this gap. Just kind of a small trick jump. We keep the momentum to be launched kind of forward while jumping. Which helps us get across the gap like that. Nowhere here. There are a bunch of enemies and
Prometheus. We'll be ready.
we just again try to just run past them.
Constructor must have done its work.
Hopefully without dying.
Be awake soon. Double time, Osiris.
Now there's two hunters here who are getting up. There's an animation going through. But I will sort them back as quickly as possible so they're already dead before they actually are able to fight. There we go.
Hunters are down.
Then we go pick up the Fear Rod cannon.
Back up. I hear some grunts. Elevator door.
I send my teammate to pick up the second Fear Rod cannon.
Everybody on the elevator.
I'm down.
Arbiter, this is Spartan Lock. Do you
I should have my teammates to pick up the Fear Rod cannons. We have Vale has taken one and Buck has taken one. Tanaka is dead, which is fine.
That's no good.
We should be close to the Guardian by now.
Ideally, she would have been alive with another Fear Rod from before, but it's not really a big
risk of
deal.
missing the Guardian.
2 out of 3 Fear Rod cannons are pretty good. Now, upcoming here is a skip I actually failed in the last GDQ, but I can promise you it won't happen again. There is an animation coming up
Just missed all the fun.
where the bridge kind of collapses, the phantom crashing into something. I don't remember exactly. Haven't seen it in a while. But you can skip it by just assassinating
Not enough.
when the animation starts.
Guardian's rising.
That's because 2 animations cancel each other out. The assassination animation and the one where you kind of get stunned there and have to watch the bridge collapse. They both cancel each other out and I can just continue running. That's also why this looks so weird. So normally you would have to see this during a kind of in-game cutscene, if that makes sense. Now we just slide through here, pick up the plasma caster on the way. The movement is really fun in my opinion in this section. Now we have a massive clear, so I have to focus.
We're almost to the Guardian. They can't stop us now.
Alright,
Clear it
can
back.
clear some
Get up on the
enemies.
Guardian before it leaves. Keep pushing, Osiris. We're almost to the Guardian.
I was looking for this guy, there he is. Have to be really careful here. It's very easy to die. Okay. I'm lining up here for the next wave, which will normally spawn soon, when enough enemies are dead.
Third blast. Guardian's gonna leave any minute now.
Ah, there it
All
is.
that matters is the Guardian hasn't left.
We just used the incineration cannon to pretty much quick kill them. I missed 2 of them for the first batch, but it's fine. Have to just be careful that they don't die. There's a lot of enemies.
Target is so Move up.
Okay, now there's some soldiers spawning here. I was supposed to backsmack him, that didn't work out unfortunately. Sometimes it kind of glitches out a bit like that. But we're fine. And there's going to be a 1 Eternal spawning in soon. And I have to take cover so I get my shield back. Oh, okay. Taking cover didn't work out. I should have taken longer cover. This is just before the spawn, so it's fine. It's before this spawn apparently, never mind.
On my mark. Take that soldier down.
Alright.
Take that target down.
Alright, Warden again.
We don't have time to discuss it. Take him
Just
out,
plasma caster spam him. Here we go. Now we just hide until the enemies disappear because the one is dead. Here we go. And that's battle with an Ion. That is one of the harder levels in my opinion. So coming up is Genesis. I think this is a lot of people's favorite part of the campaign in the casual playthrough, just because it looks cool and it's kind of fun. We activate our magnetic boots and we pretty much just jump down the Guardian, which is the structure that I'm on right now. When Legendary, it's very easy to die here, so have to be careful. My shots have to be on point.
Spartan Jameson lock broadcasting on all UNSC frequencies. Sierra 117, please respond.
Guardian's moving.
Get moving. Reach a low enough altitude where it's safe to jump. Stay in the middle. Watch out for gaps. Crawlers ahead. Don't stop. Shoot and run.
Like it's trying to shake us off.
Didn't come all this way to get killed now. Move
Be
fast.
careful. Okay.
What's that sound?
Well, that was interesting. I got stuck there, but it's fine. We made it through that section. So coming up is another skip that I am pretty sure I didn't do in the last GDQ. I'm like 99% sure I didn't do it. Actually, I know for sure I didn't do it. I remember now. We took the elevator in the last GDQ, but we skipped it this time.
Let's try this again.
It's a very difficult trick in my opinion,
Lock to Sierra 117. Please respond.
but practice makes perfect, so let's go for it. I've done this a lot of times already.
So this is the right place.
Let's find him.
There we go. Okay, we just skipped the elevator. Hit the low trigger here. Wait a little bit for a checkpoint that we hopefully got.
So I brought you this. I assume it will be of use to you.
Yeah, I reckon we can make use of that.
I found it among the
And now we just try to zigzag around here without dying.
Look up! You sure we don't want to use the scorpion back there? Looks pretty neat.
Alright, we shoot off this grunt in the turrets. And then we do a trick. Phantom surfing. We jump on this phantom.
This show of force is unsettling.
And because one phantom isn't cool enough, we jump on the second phantom.
It's how the forerunners enforce peace among
This is one of my favorite tricks because it's pretty cool to look at. It's nice to show off.
You are performing admirably, I think. There's less of them
And
than
this
there
is
were.
very convenient for Legendary because I don't have to fight all the enemies. Then we go back inbounds right here. And we pick up the ghost.
And the Master Chief is there.
Cortana has had the other
Now we have to backtrack a bit to hit the loading so we can continue the level. It's going to be enemy spawning in. Here we go. To quickly go past them. Hopefully not dying.
You may want to hurry. Cortana is attempting to activate.
And we're attempting a skip here.
How much time?
Very little. Not enough. Almost none, in fact.
Instead of waiting for the bridge to like spawn in, we just jump across it like that. And now there's a new trick coming up,
I have bad news, human.
which is one of the coolest tricks ever,
Found us.
which was not during last GDQ because it was recently found.
And you likely will again. He is rather
Instead of taking the saw and fighting the wardens like that, what we do is something completely different.
It is not protocol. It is
I messed it up, that's fine.
the warden has found us.
I want to enter the ghost as I'm meleeing a soldier, and you will see what that does very soon.
Warden, why do you help the Ancilla? It is not
There we go.
protocol. It is not right.
We are invisible. Actually, what is happening here is that my player model is very far away from the ghost. It's somewhere in mid-air. And the enemies can't see me. So I just go behind the warden and just quickly take him out like that. Now to the second one.
Oh, there's supposed to be a bridge here.
Is there another way across?
One moment.
Enemies R6.
Hold position.
Getting flanked here.
You've injured him for certain. Keep it up.
But yeah, this is Ghost. Come on. His positioning is really awkward. Pay attention. Here we go, and I can get his back.
Combat is quite exhausting to watch. I'm about to die. Oh, humans, be careful.
Now we get out and we finish the level. Here we go. This is one of the newer tricks in the game, and it's pretty exciting in my opinion. Now this is breaking. There's a lot of fighting going on here, but at the beginning it's quite quiet, so time for donations. I would say like 2 donations.
Don't.
They mean to undo your plans. They will disperse your guardians.
Leave, Warden. I'm sorry. I didn't think he could get in here.
Enough games. You brought the Guardians here. Why?
Forerunners used Guardians to keep troublesome worlds in line. I intend to do the same.
So I would say donations would be read about maybe now.
John. Come to me quickly.
Now we're here. We just run past the first bunch of crawlers because we don't have to kill them.
Fight, blue team.
But every enemy that is spawning now we have to kill. Well, we start with some spawn killing right there.
On my mark, blue team.
We try to pick up... Oh, that's a bit unlucky. Try to get the knight right away. Ah, this is unlucky. Unfortunate. During his raiding animation was behind the pillar, so I couldn't get him.
Position.
Okay.
Take this, Spartan.
Sure.
So normally I would pick up the incineration cannon that this knight would drop. Can still try that, but I have to be careful.
Blue team.
Okay.
Target the crawler. Engage the soldier.
Got it. Run.
Soldier is your target.
Let's get rid of this guy. Very nice, clean shots.
Finish that crawler.
There we go, that's the hold here.
We see one way out of here, Chief.
Sometimes the crawler runs away and I have to kill
Well
him.
done, John. Warden
'Cause otherwise the
never
gate won't
admitted,
open.
But you've made an impression on him.
And I had to remember where the knight died. It was right in front of this door, so it's easy to remember. I activate the gondola when it starts moving, I can start running. And I will get teleported back to it, but during that time I have a small window where I can just pick up ammo and weapons. I want this one. There we go, and then some light rifle ammo, but I'm full already. So,
good to see all of you
coming up now
together as a
is
family.
another trick that
Psychological tactics.
I did not do during the last Games Done Quick.
Playing nice.
This is also one of the cool ones in my
What do you have
opinion.
Tell
me do?
me the truth.
It doesn't technically
Died
save time or much time. Maybe it saves a tiny bit if done perfectly. But it's just way more consistent. It looks much cooler. So that's why I go for it. So this gondola is approaching this metal platform. I will squeeze myself in between and you can already picture what's going to happen. Let's go for it.
Listen to his questions, Cortana.
Position myself perfectly here. When the gondola comes here, I get launched up in the air and we get pressure launched.
Move up.
Promethean soldiers in play.
Very nice. Be a little bit careful. Uh-oh. Yeah, I messed up. If I'm really lucky, Frederick might get me, but I don't really believe so. Yeah, it doesn't look like it. I have a really good checkpoint. If I'd seen that before, I would have reversed this much faster. Oh yeah, let's try that again. So there are 4 triggers we have to hit here. One was in the bottom there that I just hit. The second one was here, it spawned doing this enemies. I think I missed the third one actually. Oh my god, what did I do? That was a stupid mistake. That's fine. I'm a little bit rusty. Let's try it again. So the first trigger is down here. And the second trigger is here, but I'm probably gonna die, yes. Oh wait, I was supposed to kill these crawls. I forgot about that. My bad. Yeah, I have to clear these. I knew something was off. I completely forgot about this. It's my fault. And now I'm supposed to drop down. That's it. So I just hit the first trigger. Second one is up here. Then we hit the third one up here, and then we go down. Because there's too many enemies, we would die. And then we go up here again. And then the fourth trigger is right here. And that spawns in 4 enemies. And those are the only ones that have to die for me to continue. Okay.
Kelly, fall back.
Cortana's letting this happen.
So now that the 2 turrets died and the 2 soldiers, I can continue.
Do you hear, Cortana? I am sorry. I will not allow them to get any...
The 2 binary rifle soldiers here in the middle, which I instantly take out.
Cortana, talk to me.
Once you're here with me, until then I have work to do.
Oh man. Is my teammate around? No, they're all dead.
Kelly's comms went dead. Regroup.
Let's try that again.
Cortana's letting this happen. She could rain Warden in if she wanted to.
I'm thinking the same.
How are we gonna stop her, Chief?
Do you hear, Cortana? I am sorry. I will not allow them to get any closer to you.
I'm tired of your antics. Stand down.
Cortana, talk to me.
Once you're here with me.
So you see me using Promethean weapons, and then when the armor is lost, I use the bolt shot. The projectile weapon for a headshot. It's similar to the nuke combo you might know from other Halo games. It's good to take off Promethean armor with the Promethean guns and then just headshot them with the projectile gun. Oops. Wow, okay, I actually got naded. But Linda's right here to heal me, so we're fine.
Engage the soldier.
Roger that.
Back in it.
When Cortana's guardians are approached, and those who oppose her rule attempt to take back their worlds.
Alright, we pick up the binary rifle now.
Cortana knows the answer.
And we just use it to quickly take out all the enemies.
Team, get on that hostile.
Interesting. Okay, that's it.
John, they were always a great
There will be time for 1 or 2 donations here
agree with my plans.
before the next skip is coming up.
Get us safely to you, and then we'll talk.
So we get teleported back to the gondola and I will take them out. Because otherwise the physics get a bit weird. Kinda glitchy. Which would be annoying for the next trick I wanna do. Could get in the way. So you saw me do a pressure launch after the first gondola on this level. We're doing basically the same thing, but with a different lineup. This one is a bit trickier.
We were both there, John.
But it's the exact same idea. We squeeze ourselves between the platform and the gondola. And we will get pressure launched.
Yet humanity without the creators. The reclamation of the Forerunner Empire is the task of the creative.
Okay, so we are mid-air now, hovering, and the gondola squeezes us. And we ground pound onto an invisible platform.
John.
And then ground pound to where we need to go. We skip this whole room, which is a massive clear. If you have played this game in the casual playthrough, there's a lot of overpowered enemies there. We just skipped all of them. Now we come to the infamous 1-1 fight. And we actually skipped them. Just by jumping to where we need to go, clambering up here and continuing. Instead of fighting 3 wardens, we just ignore them.
You insist I am to lead the galaxy, but you won't allow me to choose who
This
I
is
trust.
the hardest part of the whole game casually, and we just skip all of it. And now we're entering the last level. Last but not least, the last level is probably the most broken one out of all of them.
The gateway.
This level is actually crazy.
Well,
We start right away by dropping from the floor here. It's not solid for some reason. And we do a very precise ground pound here because it's a death barrier all over the place. I have to be careful that I don't hit it. Good.
Oh, this is interesting. Or me.
Wait, did I? Where am I?
How are we gonna stop that?
I have to revert because I don't know what I'm doing. I was stuck there.
The gateway. I tried to warn them and, well, here we are.
Once Chief knows the destruction
Let's try it again.
was caused, what do you think he'll do?
The man will do the right thing. Always has.
Let's find him.
There we go.
How are we gonna
Let's go
stop
back
that?
inbounds. In the casual playthrough, we have to wait through all the dialogue. Okay, so another reason why you play unpatched is because of the coordinates I just turned on. By pressing A, X, and D-pad up, if you hold it, you get the coordinates. In the patched version, you cannot do that anymore. And we need the coordinates for a very precise trick at the end. Which is also completely new compared to last GDQ. This level has changed a lot. It was already crazy back then, but now it's even crazier. So, let's talk about this level a bit. This is a really long level, casually. You get into an open area where we have to destroy, I think, 5 cores, I believe. And then there's a massive fight in the middle where you have to push a button if you survive somehow. And then there's a huge Colosseum fight and elevator ride. I can tell you right away, we are not going to do any of that in the speedrun. First, I'm gonna line up here for the trick. I keep the gondola's momentum to get launched into the next room like this. Which is pretty fun to do. And now we enter a room with a ton of enemies, which we are trying to ignore. We will try to run past them.
Take him down.
And we'll pick up the sword right here. Which again, if you don't remember, allows us to run faster. But there are a lot of overpowered enemies there, and we just try to run past them like this.
Turrets, take cover.
We try to get this these turrets' attention, but we take a specific path where they can't really damage us too much. I was supposed to get through here. I have to hide in the corner because I might die otherwise. Alright, got the checkpoint. So, this section is new compared to what I did in my last GDQ run. Instead of going to the other bombs I did before, I do the ghost trick again. And because my player model is offset, I can actually do something that looks like this. I got out of the ghost on the slope there. Wait, where am I? I'm actually lost. Where am I? I think I messed it up. I have to try it again. But my player model is very far offset, and when I get out where my player model is. Let's try that again. Oh, my ghost got naded away.
How do we get it down?
That's unfortunate. Alright, let's try that again.
Once those are disabled, we can attempt retrieval of your friends.
You heard her. Weapon spree. Eliminate the core.
Oh no. That didn't work out as planned. Let me try this again. Okay, I have to revert. A bit unlucky with the spawns right now. Normally this is far more consistent. But I'm also out of practice, to be fair.
You heard her. Weapon spree. Eliminate the core.
There we go.
Humans, come back. This gravitational core is still
Alright, there we go. Now I got it. So I already explained how the trick works.
Cortana's not waiting for us.
And this is where the Colosseum fight would be normally. What we do is we hit the trigger which you hit when you go into the elevator at the end of the level, which walks back into the beginning here. And this starts a bunch of sequences which will load in the end of the level at a certain point. And I do perfectly timed jumps here. So I land on the platform of the end as soon as it spawns without getting softlock or anything. Alright, so I go to a very specific coordinate, which is 344.607. I went too far. I messed up. Hopefully it's supposed to work. Alright, 344.607. Let's see. I just had it. Then I thrust. And I'm in a specific spot which will skip the ending animation completely. Normally lock would open up the relay core. This is also a new trick which I didn't do in the last GDQ. And we skip all of that and go straight to the credits. And that is Halo 5 Legendary. I don't know what the time was of every time. It's around 1 hour 33 minutes. I have to say I am a bit rusty. If you consider this run, I will practice a lot. But I think I will give an estimate of 1 hour 40 probably. Or 1 hour 35, I'm not sure yet. I will go with 1 hour 40 minutes, I believe, just to be on the safe side. So this is 1 hour 33 minutes. Sometimes, especially on Ion, for instance, if I die at the beginning, I can lose a few minutes. It's a bit on the safer side. But yeah, I'll actually think about the estimate. I will be more in practice, and I will make an estimate that I will be sure I can hold. So yeah. It's a fun run. I would love to see it at the GDQ again. Last time was 2018. I did highlight the new strats. And yeah, this is where I cut the recording. Thank you for watching.